Hi boys and girls, how are you today? Is it raining where you are? It's really raining where I am. It's super windy. So I thought I would try to find a book about a character that has to deal with a big storm with wind and rain. And you know what? I found one. And not only did I find one, it's one from when I was a little girl. It's one of my all-time favorites. And it's called Miss Twiggly's Tree by Dorothea Warren Fox. She's the author and the illustrator. I know you've been learning about living and non-living things. So what do you think a tree is? Living or not living? Well, you're right. It needs air and sunshine. It needs food. Is that something that makes you think of a living thing? Yeah, it is. So this tree is very important. Funny Miss Twiggly lived in a tree with a dog named Puss and a color TV. She did what she liked, and she liked what she did, but when company came, here they are, what do you think she did? Oh no, look where she is. Miss Twiggly hid. There they go, leaving. It's not that I do not like people, said she, but one gets a bit shy when one lives in a tree. She named her dog Puss. He didn't mind that. My very best friend, he said, is a cat. There they are, washing the dishes. Are you guys washing dishes? Old Miss Twiggly was friendly with bears. They shed on the sofa, she said, but who cares? They don't find me odd, and I'm grateful for that. I don't think they'd mind if I slept in my hat. And just to be sure, look at them, they're playing a game, reading paper. She slept in her hat. Do they look like they mind? No. She slept in her hat, but she made up her bed, and she swept and she dusted until the bears said they were thoroughly tired of being so neat and refused when she asked them to hold up their feet. Now Puss was clever, a smart dog indeed. He did the shopping for things that they would need. Groceries, clothing, and tools for repairs, bones for himself, and jam for the bears. But whenever he shopped for Miss Twiggly's meals, look at him doing it, got his little basket. You see him here? Where is he? The town dogs teased and snapped at his heels. So poor Puss shivered and as scared as could be, and he hurried back home to his safe and sound tree. Miss Twiggly and Puss were happy up there, high above ground, in a house in the air. Look at him, dropping his groceries. Simply disgraceful, said people in town, to live in a tree and never come down. The wife of the mayor was maddest of all. To not be at home when I come to call is unforgivable, and besides that, I have been told that she sleeps in her hat. My husband must know of a town law, said she, against things of that kind going on in a tree. She marched to the mayor. "Now what can you do? That house in the tree is spoiling our view. Miss Twiggly's a nuisance. No town should allow." "A person to hang her wash on a bough." A bough is another word for a tree branch. "The smoke from her chimney is causing a smog, and she lives, so they say, with some bears and a dog." The poor mayor sighed. "My dear, I agree, but more pressing problems are bothering me. The weather report says it's going to rain. I fear we are in for a wild hurricane." It did rain for a week and a month and a day. The wind blew a gale, and the bridge washed away. The town was cut off, its people afloat. Whatever went by, they used for a boat. The road and the meadow were one stormy sea, and right in the middle stood the house in the tree. You see it? Yep, you can just barely make out Miss Twiggly. Look, there's a mailbox, a bathtub. How else are people getting around? This guy made a raft. It's like a little box. It's like a raft, a little floaty. Old Miss Twiggly had battened her hatches and checked her supply of tea and dry matches. "String up some hammocks," she called to the bears. "Puss, you build platforms for spare beds and chairs. We may have some collars, and wet ones at that. I'll go change the bows on my best sleeping hat. I'll get right to work on a big pot of stew. To be sure there'll be plenty to feed quite a few." Yep, building platforms. He's getting some blankets. She put on the kettle and buttered some bread. "Now let them all come. I'm ready," she said. "They're coming," called Puss, who perched way up high, holding a spyglass close to his eye. See him? Yeah. "Ahoy!" called the mayor. "Miss Twiggly, yoo-hoo! Is there room in your home for a wet friend or two?" "There's room for you all," Miss Twiggly replied. "Climb up where it's warm. Come up and be dried." Look at them. They do look pretty miserable. They hauled up the mayor and the chief of police and sweet Trudy Wilmot, the groceryman's niece. Pigs came in their trough. A wet mother cat arrived with her kittens aboard a straw hat. Yep, there's the kittens. Thanks. I think that's the mayor. Oh, maybe that's the mayor. The dogs of the town came swimming right up, big dogs and small dogs, and one frisky pup. But plump Mrs. Honk was afraid of the stairs, and little Joe Pettibone didn't like bears. "Don't fret, Mrs. Honk," Miss Twiggly said. "You won't mind the height when you're tucked into bed. And Joe, my big bears are as tame as can be. They don't spill a crumb when I ask them to tea." In the very last boat, bedraggled and wet, was the wife of the mayor, looking upset. She felt so ashamed of the words she had said when her hostess declared, "I fixed you my bed." Wow, that was really nice. Miss Twiggly's new friends were cozy and warm, sheltered and fed and out of the storm. Though the wind made the rain go splittery splat, the mayor's wife slept, safe and sound, in the hat. Look at that. It's cozy. Old Puss, once so shy, forgot all his fear. The town dogs were fun, and he was glad they were here. They pretended the house was like Noah's Ark. They played games and sang till long after dark. Now the townsfolk were glad, just as pleased as could be, that funny Miss Twiggly lived in a tree. And Miss Twiggly found out something wonderful too. When emergencies come, you don't think about you. You help all you can, and you never ask why. Then the first thing you know, you forget to be shy. The end.